All right, so today we are going to try something. It's an experiment that I always wanted to do, but really never got a chance to sit down and actually go through the entire process to show you guys how this world is getting crazy. Of course, I do have a little background in computer science, and back in the days used to do a little bit of this and that. But to be honest, today with technology, the way it is, you don't really need much. You just need to have a good sense of, how things work, and then take it and then, apply a little bit of discipline. And then you pretty much said you can do a lot of interesting things. So this is what happened. The other day, my son Jonathan came to me and said, he was bored. He wanted us to play, which is fun. I like playing with him. But Jonathan likes numbers. He likes numbers. He likes to look at numbers. He might sometimes even have this obsession with looking at numbers and trying to create meanings out of them. So I sat with him, and then he created a game. He came up with a coding, game where he gave every letter, every number from zero, from 0 to 9, a meaning. And then based on that, every time he sees time, it kind of tells him something. I thought that was fascinating. That was so cool. And the more we got into this discussion, the more we started talking about it, the more I got excited. I'm like, what can we do this? And this kind of reminded me a little bit of, Morse, coding and sending messages, coded messages. So I said, what if we come up with a game? What if we try to make it a game? All right. So everything started there. So pretty much that's what happened. I asked him to kind of like give me the meaning of those numbers. So this is what he wrote. 1 equals myself, 2 equals noun, 3 equals good, yes, happy, 4 bad, no, unhappy, etc. And it goes until 0. Now, based on that, we decided to come up with an idea where we can actually invent, a game where people or teams would have to guess a coded message based on the numbers that they will draw, throwing or rolling a die. ChatGPT is here, so I said, well, my friend ChatGPT, can we, try to design something? My son created this code legend to describe, actually, the meaning of time and what we can do with it. What could we do with it? So that's what ChatGPT said. He said the code legend, is created, so the simplicity, the versatility, communication overall, it's pretty interesting. So I asked ChatGPT, can we imagine a game based on that? And then he said, of course, so we came up with the concept. The concept would be called code breaker. Okay, so we need to break a code. And then the objectives, players decode and create messages using the code language and etc. etc. So we went through a couple of iterations, and as we were going through this, I asked Jonathan, my son, to try to give me more of, how he makes the connection, how he's able to draw the meaning out of those letters, right? He went back and updated a little bit of the meaning possibilities for each word. Okay, so he added for number 1, he changed a little bit. Instead of just myself, he became myself, me, myself, me, my, and I. And then number 2, he said it would be a noun, could be any kind of noun. Number 3, it would be good, yes, happy, 4, bad, no, unhappy, etc. In short, just try to, make it more connected to the world that he lives in, sometimes when he's in his dreams there. So ChatGPT went ahead and enhanced the concept. Code Breaker Deluxe now is not just the first. So we moved and we have some iteration here. And then we went from there to start to implement a little bit of the game, how it will work. At first, it was designed to be just, a board game, a traditional board game that you can just, have with your friends, and you can kind of like go with, both of you have, die, and then you roll it, and then you can draw cards, and then you can just kind of guess based on the numbers, and then each team would be, able to kind of like guess what's the code that is coming out of those. So we went through all of that. I think, I was very excited, to be honest. As we went through this, the more we did it, the more I was like, I can see how this can work. And especially if it's something that involves thinking and creativity, because you have to, based on the different numbers that you draw, you have to come up with what's the best possible combination of, words based on those numbers that you can make, and what kind of meaning can you draw out of that. For me, I wanted it to be more interactive than anything at some point, because that's the world we live in anyway. I want it to be an app that I can just deploy. I can just, make sure that, I can be here and have my other team there. Parents abroad, we can kind of just jump on it and then, play, and, it'd be like Jonathan's created game, right? That would be amazing. But I was a little bit stuck. I wanted to understand a little bit more what the game would be about. So I decided to, challenge ChatGPT a little bit more. So we went through a couple of possibilities, tried it in Python, ActionScript Flash, asked him to do a couple of, decoding a couple of messages to kind of like see what's the best combination. All right. I said, let's go back to the board game and let's try to actually brand it. So I asked him, okay, can you give me like a poster, right? So this is what he came up with. Breaker Deluxe, right? And of course, there's a little bit of gibberish right there. But, how won't you be excited about something like that? The more you do it, the more you see the possibilities. And of course, like anything, if you've used AI in the past, you know that the first is really never the best. So you want to try a couple of times, a couple of iterations, we actually get some better results. So we have this board game here that is not bad. I kind of like it, and all those are based on the prompts that I later on went back and added. So it's all about figuring out a family atmospheres. You have to write the right, prompt, of course, so that it can actually help you do that perfectly. This is great because it helps you kind of like see the potential, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you want to start your own kind of game, you never knew how to do it. You just need to have your ideas in mind. You have to know a little bit of how to talk to the machine, to the AI, and then from there you'll be able to help you. Basically, like, pretty much that's what's going to happen. You help him, help you. Now, one thing that is important, me, I'm somebody who is, creativity, I need to see it in action to actually grasp it. And it's more organic like that. So I asked ChatGPT to give me some scenarios of how the game would work, right? This is the prompt that I actually wrote. Let's go back to the physical board game again. Create 3 different scenarios that shows the originality and fun of the game, and be creative, right? So this is the first example that he gave me. Example gameplay, round 1. Player A, so is the coder, rolls a 4 and draw 4 cards, right? So based on the number that your die shows, that's the amount of cards that you'll be able to draw. So here we draw 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 8, 3, and 1. Player A arranges the cards as noun, afraid, help, good. Yes, remember the codes, like the different meaning that the letters represent. That's what pretty much, you would have to arrange those cards in that order. And then once it's arranged like that, player B rings the bell first, because, he thinks he guessed the right message. And he has 5 seconds to decode the message. And then he says, based on this combination, right? He says, a scared person is happy with me. Then the game became clear in my mind. Now I start to understand what this game is about. It's the creativity that comes with you being able to order or sort different random words together and to make sense out of it, right? Brilliant, brilliant. Like I'm just excited when I see things like that. Now, the interpretation includes all the key concepts in the order presented and uses synonyms, so player B scores 1 point. Right. So of course, this is the result of a couple of iterations. I had to prompt a couple of times for ChatGPT to be able to give me something that is close to this result. Now that's round one. And round two, player A, the coder, rolls a 6 and draw 5's card, 4, 6, 9, 7, and 2. Player A creates the message. So the message here is bad, no, happy, question, who, what, when, where, why. So this is, I think, is number 6. Number 6 has that's Jonathan's mind. That's my son's mind. He has the way. I don't know. He knows why he put that like that. And then pretty much, you have to just follow the rules. Now, player C, which if you notice, there's player A, player B, player C. You guys are playing in group. So once the first player to roll the die shows the cards, now it's game time. You have to be the first to ring the bell. If you ring the bell on time, you're the first to ring it. Now you get to try to decode the message. Now he decodes the message. He has 5 seconds to do it. And then he cannot decode it. So because he cannot decode it, then player D, who is the 4th player, now rings the bell and he has a chance to decode the message. And this is what he says. Why is the unhappy thing leaving? Right? It doesn't quite make sense, but it does. It does make sense in a way because, this is the game. You have to just be creative and just try to use whatever words you have, lined up to come up with your own, your own meaning, your own sentence. And if it makes sense, you actually score a point, which player D does. Now, round 3, it's even more exciting here. So round 3, player A, so is the coder. He rolls a 5 and draws 5 cards. 3, 1, 5, 7, and 2. Player A creates this combination of words: good, yes, happy, myself, me, my, yourself, you, etc., etc. And doubt noun, and no one is able to decode the message correctly. So player A scores actually 1 point and gets to roll the die again for the next message. Get it? So now we understand by just helping ChatGPT tell me different scenarios of how the game works, it actually helps solidify what the game could be and what I would like to change, or what I think it's pretty brilliant or not. The prompts help you kind of like, have a better idea of what the game can be. And then as you go, you refine it, 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 go through a couple of sprints. And then after that, you are good. You know what to do, you know what you have. And then you can actually start going to the next phase. Now, this is what we did. We went through that, added a couple of additional rules, like bonus rounds, team play, adding, more the challenge mode and all that. Hint system, maybe players can have hints to help, detect, decode the message better. Time trials, a time limit of 3 seconds for quicker rounds and increased difficulty. So I'm telling you, if you have the mind and you have the brain and you have the excitement, the time, you can just sit in there, refine and get the most elaborated board game or interactive game that you can ever imagine. All right. So this is what we have. Now, it gets better. So we have this, poster, like I showed you. I like it. I kind of like pushed it a little bit more, tried to get more representativity, in the poster here, or more, faces, black, white, Spanish, I don't know. All of what can come to my mind to make it more inclusive as a game. This is another one. It's not that bad. Code Breaker Deluxe. Okay. I see. All right. So I went through all of that And then after a while, after going through a couple of scenarios, again, I tried another scenario, after a while, I got a bit stuck, because for me to be able to use all of the coding and actually, get the applied, or get to a point where I have an MVP, for those who knows about application and development, it's that state where you have something that you can actually show, you can actually try, you can test it. So I wasn't getting it quite, because I don't know, ChatGPT was giving me some gibberish, and it was getting hard. And also for me to be able to use it, I had to ask him to send me a Python code, because it's easier, and ChatGPT is pretty good in Python. So, and I had to go to my Python and try to install it and, do a couple of things there. And yeah, I knew I could do it, but it was getting late. So I kind of gave up a little bit until, and this is where everything changed, until Sonnet 3.5 came, right? So Anthropic released Sonnet 3.5, and they activated the artifact mode, which is like the code interpreter mode for ChatGPT. So I decided, okay, I'm going to give it a try. Let's see what we can do. And I jumped in right there. Okay. So the first get-go that I gave it, right? I just copied and pasted the first prompt that I gave to ChatGPT, and I told him the exact same thing. And this is what he gave me. Oh, it's my first prompt. Okay. Right. He said, you've outlined a comprehensive development plan for creating an interactive online platform for Breaker Deluxe, similar to Kahoot, right? This is an excellent starting point for bringing your game to life in a digital format. To help visualize some key components of this plan, I can create a simple diagram showing, so he went ahead and actually did that, did the mapping here, so that I was able to actually see, the different elements, front end, back end, all that. He went all the way. So I was already starting to be like excited. And then I told him, well, I refined the code, and gave him more. And then I told him to give me the actual game. Okay. And this is what he gave. Okay. Starting to give me the cards. Like, okay, I see you actually able to use React. So React is it's a platform, it's a coding platform that, Claude can use to actually showcase his results. It's pretty amazing. I like that. So you can actually visualize and have an idea right directly in front of you of what it is. Like, this would take, I don't know, days, months to be able to just be able to finalize and, go from the concept, go from the ideas, and then reach a place where you have something on screen that you can actually test. Very exciting. So this started here. Code Breaker, Code Legend and all that, and, based on my son's, code formula. So I gave him. So he did that, from 0 to 1, he gave all the representation and the meanings of the corresponding, words for each numbers. Now, that was good, okay? But he created it, and what happened? I told him, okay, that was a good start. Now put the entire game together. It must be interactive, and user can play online. Rethink the entire code to make it work. Use this as a reminder. So the reminder is me giving him, some of the previous coding that I had done with ChatGPT, back there. All right. So that's what I have. And this is what he gave me. Oh, okay. So he's starting to give me a way where I can actually select. Whoa, I went too fast, guys. Let me go back here. Listen, check this out. Okay. So we tried a couple of things, here and there, all right, let me go back to this one. Okay. So this is what we had first. And then he created the number of cards. Okay. Right. And then after creating that, I told him to put everything together, and this is what he gave. So now we have the possibility to select between 2 players, 3 players, 4 players. If I say 2 players, then it's me against another player, right? And I have my code legend here that is telling me exactly, the word. So I can actually use that as a reference. And then I have the cards, and I can select the cards. And when I select the cards, they stay highlighted. And then I can submit the code. And then I have to type in what's the message that I decode, right? So here, he was not quite advanced yet. So you'll see with, as we go, you understand why I'm saying this, because I had to, come back again and ask him to, give us, on the screen, the cards that we selected, so the player can actually keep, an eye on it and actually use that as a refresher, because it would have been too hard to just guess. I mean, try to keep it, memorize it, and then, try to create a word, like a message, to decode the message with that. So, I just type some gibberish here, and then the code is submitted. Let's call, was the guess correct? So in this approach, pretty much it was about the player A, who is the coder, to decide whether or not the message decoded by the other player was right or not. But I felt like it was not quite doing it, because, it's too subjective, and it would have been gone boring pretty much, I thought. So that part, didn't work for me. So I had to keep going. So I said, okay, make it fully functional using your recommendation. And this is the other thing that is very interesting with this, right? So as he's coding, as he's creating the game, he's doing it, and then he's coming up with some suggestions. To make this fully functional game, you would need to, right? And then he suggests a bunch of stuff. Wait, what? Of course, I'm going to ask him to, to use that and to create the game. So this is what I told him. Make it fully functional using your recommendation. And then I told him to add a timer and to refine the interface and add a virtual die so I can actually see it, right? You see the progression. So first you want something functional, you want something that works, something that you're excited about. But as you go, you start to see what you really need. And based on that, you can actually, get more excitement going on, right? So let's see what it gave me. All right. So this is the first page. We start with this. We start with, code Breaker Deluxe, select the number of players, right? Like a normal game, right? Whoa, it's exciting. All right. So this time is select 3 players. So this time he did refine the board. Now we have a scoreboard. We have 3 players here. And then he says, let's start. First player, roll the die. Okay. And you have the die here. I guess I got to click on it, right? Let's click. Boom. And then I click on it, and then I have the cards that I draw. And then he does explain to me. He tells me there's more, intuitivity here. And also he's giving more helpers, so I understand where I am and what to do. Player 1 rolled a 3 and drew 4 cards. Now, create your coded message. Okay, all right. To give you a quick example here. So my coded message here would be what? I have 4, 1, 9, and 5. Let's say I want to sort it by 5, 1, 9, and 7. These are the order of word that I selected. Now, this means what? This means that even though I have this number here, the way I select the cards might give me different results, right? Now, 5, what's the meaning? What do we have? 5. 5 is yourself, you, your. Okay. 1 is what? 1 is myself, me, myself, me, my, I. Okay. And then 9 is what? 9 is by. Okay. And then 7 is what? 7 is doubt. All right. So see how tricky it becomes. So you have to use all of these, and then based on whatever you have in your big basket, now you got to create your own coded message. Submit the code. Let me try something. I'm going to say, you You left me in doubt. Whoa, yeah, see, kind of works, right? Did you notice that I had a timer? I had 15 seconds timer, right? And the timer, reached the end and then he went there. You left me in doubt. Was it correct? Okay, so here again, the player, the coder, has to decide whether it's correct or not. Well, I know it's correct, so I'm going to say correct. Boom. Now, player one just won. Or player three won. Okay, now, player two, it's your turn to roll. I'm going to roll another die. Okay, and then here I have 081, and then I can submit the code. Okay, 0 is what? 0 is person, and then this is 1, and then it's 5, and then the time is going on. Boom, 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 boom. Whoa, what happened? I found nothing. Was that correct? No, it wasn't correct. Boom. And then we move to player 3. Right, okay. Player 3. All right, so here you can actually see that there's a little bug here because I started with player 1, but it actually put that under player 3. Well, I guess this is easily fixed because you still have the code here. So you can actually get in there and you can fix it quickly and then come back, right? Easy. Or if you wanted to do it the easy way, you can just ask, Claude to go ahead and refine it and change it based on what you want. All right. So keep going. Let's keep going. It's getting better and better. Now, okay, we know this works, but I asked Claude to do something else. I said, let's refine even more. Use your own recommendation to make it even more fully functional. Also, make a big die. Wait a little bit so that we can see the number drawn. Add the combination of 3 possible answers to help the player decide whether he should validate the guess or not. Do you see where we're going? Okay. All right. And let's see what he gave me. Okay. So we still have here, I'm going to go with 2. So this time I have a bigger die, right? Good job with that. And then I'm going to draw. He's going to roll it. And then he's going to show me the number 1. So number 1 means I can draw 3 cards, right? Now I'm going to draw them in just in order, 790. And then I'm going to submit the code. And then this time I have 30 seconds to go. And he did, suggest me possible answers. It's like a quiz now, like, Kahoot, right? And it gets exciting because now it's quicker. Now it's about, what kind of, combination I can make. And the best thing about this stage is that he still shows me the decoded message that I selected myself, right? Boom, boom, boom. Alrighty, time passed, and then this was the result, and I didn't select something. I'm going to say incorrect, and then move to player 2. All right, same thing. We're going to roll a die. It's a 4. 4 means, I'm going to get 4 cards, and then here I'm going to select in reverse 7, 5, 6, and 2. 7, 5, 6, and 2. 7 is doubt, 5 is yourself, 6 is what? Question, who, and then 2 is noun. Oh, that's going to be tough. Alrighty. So what kind of message can I decode here? Think, myself, noun, Alrighty. And then the time is ticking. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Well, I'm just going to select something randomly and then wait for the time to just, clear, and then we'll see. So I hope you guys are getting the point of this, right? Everything started with this brilliant idea that my son had. Now we're going from there and we're creating something very elaborated. Okay, so coded message, and let's say it's correct, and then player 1 wins a point. And then we keep going, and then, until we are tired or we want to change the possibilities. Now, so far, so good. This is good. And then, I'm excited and all of that. But I want to change something, right? So I'm going back again and I'm telling him to implement all the recommendation that he had. And I also ask him to make it that the possible answers should be sentences that make sense humanly. Add the code number above above legend during, the result section. Okay. So, it's just me again trying to see what's possible. All right. So I run into an error, okay. I say, okay, I cannot try it. All right. And then he says, oh, sorry, I apologize. And I can try it again. And then he does it again. And then this time it works. Okay. So this time he changed the approach. Now, something probably changed in the coding that I can actually go in the code and then just, make sure that I can just identify what didn't work. Because the previous one starts with me being able to select players, right? Now, after asking to do a few changes, now I don't have that anymore. I can start the game here straight. I can select the calls. Okay, so far so good. I can submit the coded message, and now I have the questions, the suggested messages. Person, yourself, good, bad question. Person, good, afraid. Myself, yourself, doubt. Yeah, it's still, it's not really what I want. But again, you can see the progression. You can see where you can go. You can see how it goes. I went so far to be able to ask him to, brought back the die. He's showing this to me. I can, select that. Trying to get the sentence right is actually what has been, slowing me down a little bit, because I would like the sentence to make sense, So, pretty much what I'm asking Claude to do is to create a directory or a bank of sentences based on the words that he has and the possibilities, that he has, and then based on that to rank them, organize them, classify them, so that whenever we have a selection that is close to that, it can actually suggest those sentences to us. But at this point, it's not quite working. It's not quite what I want. And I also notice there's a bug here. Sometimes when I click on one number that has the same, it just selects everything together, something that I can easily fix. I is afraid. I like that. Keep going. And now this is the new, the change that I made, right? So, because it felt a bit, okay, we could take it to the next level. I said, what if these words that my son created, right? What if it was actually, we had the possibility to choose different category based on what we want to play on. Let's say I'm a sport guy and I like to have words, that make me think based on sport. So, I asked him, okay, let's create, this is the actual prompt. Add a new step at the beginning where the player can choose which category he wants to play in sport, art, politics, economics, culture, astronomy, geography, etc. Then the code legend is generated based on the subject selected. The code still goes from 0 to 9 and has the same structure as the original. So 0, 3 words. I just wanted to stay true to my son, mine, and how he came up with this. So each number has the same amount of words, possibility words, pretty much, right? And then player one, can roll the dice. So basically, I just copied, the rules there, so he can make sense. All right, and that's what he gave me. So if I choose art now, I can base my words. I have arts in there. I have player, team, equipment, bad, unhappy, afraid, help. Pretty much, I can refine it. You get the idea, and this database of categories and all that, I can actually update it. I can change it. I can get in the code source, the code source, and just change it based on my taste of what I want, what I would like them to do. Okay, so this is great. The interpretation of the code is not great. Let's be more creative. All right. How about we change a few things? Once we have created the code message, keep it visible, just the numbers. Now, the magic is in how cleverly the game suggests sentences out of the code message and shows 3 possible answers the other player will then have to choose from. This means you will have to create a full lexicon of possible meaningful sentences based on the subject selected at the beginning. It's a bit of a wording, I was not quite sure Claude would be able to generate something and understand me fully. But this is exploration. This is us trying stuff. So why not? All right. So this is what we have. Let's go with sport. Okay, sport. So verb, action, verb, do. I kind of like the randomness of it too. It's pretty cool. Now, roll the dice to determine how many cards you draw. Okay. So I roll the dice. I have 6 cards, and I'm going to draw 6 cards. So now I get to select them, in order. All right. And submit the code. And then this time he does show me what I selected and the order in which I clicked those cards, because this is my message. This is me creating my coding message now. Right. So during peak performance, wins unexpectedly in the stadium. You see that, we in the sport area. So whatever suggestion he's coming up, it's pretty cool, right? And I'm pretty sure if we dive into the coding aspect, you're going to see at the beginning here, all the lexicon that he was able to create, right? So again, based on sport, okay? If I'm arts, it's going to be based on arts, right? Pretty cool. I hope you're following me. I hope this makes sense. I hope you're excited. I hope this sparks some interest and you want to start your own thing. It's as easy as it is. You start from the idea, but, just try to be patient, and be consistent. And just as you go, you'll be able to refine it and ask it, to help you, because pretty much that's what I did. And I also realized that, once I'm in here, I'm stuck. I don't have any button to go back. I don't have a way to actually get out of here. So later on, I asked him to, create a reset button where I can actually reset the game or reset the category. So this is what he does. We can reset the game here, change the category, and here, he still don't work. So I keep going, not working. He tries to refine it, and this time it works. I have my reset game in the bottom here. I can roll my die. You can select my cards, and then I can submit. I have, guys, I don't know about you, but this is awesome. This is working. This is giving me hope that I can actually keep going like that. And if I give it enough time, I'm sure I can come up with something decent, something that is interesting. I might need, I'm guessing that if I was a full stack developer, this would be something that would blow my mind even more, because now I know different steps, that I can take to actually speed up the actual work that I have to do. So if you guys are out there, you haven't tried it yet, you're still hesitant trying to figure out, okay, how do I actually make use of all this? Guys, you have no excuse. You have to dive in. This is what's happening. This is the world we're in, and you won't be able to escape it, okay? So yeah, at this point, I have something that works. And then it's all about, figuring out what else to add. So this is it. This is it, guys. Like I said, it's very, very exciting. I'm looking back again at some of those, posters that I created, for the game. I think they're very exciting. They're very cool. I like them a lot. This one is not bad. This one is not bad. Code Breaker Deluxe, it's not bad. This one is good too. I can go on Photoshop and kind of like tweak a few things here and there and try to make it even better. Crutch the code, solve the mystery, whoa. All right. Well, guys, there you have it. This is me, experimenting and bringing my passion, my interest, and also the opportunity to bond and to spend time with my son, in order to do something fun, based on his interest for numbers. Code Breaker Deluxe, stay tuned. It might be coming your way pretty soon. And if you want to discuss this, you want to, know more about how I was able to do all of that, because of course, I didn't, didn't detail everything here, but at least I wanted to give you an idea of what is possible, what you can do, and how much fun, you can have using, couple of tools that are out there now. Everybody is going to be able to experiment here and there, but so far, I think the power of to resonate, like to think that Claude 3.5, Sonnet 3.5 has is pretty dang good, man. It's amazing. All right. So with that, see you later.